Welcome to the Escarpment. This is my model railway build channel and I'm your host Jason. So today's video is the February 2022 layout update. Now the main focus of today's video will be the level 2 locomotive depot. There's been a lot of work over the last month. The main focus has been predominantly in that area. But before we head over to the level 2 locomotive depot, I'm going to take you quickly and just show you a couple of tweaks that I've done to the track over there on level 2, both at the south end and the north end, especially with those double crossovers. And then from there, we'll head off over and go through the main topic of today's video. Also, just as a side note, I do apologize. In some of the shot when I was doing this, there was some heavy downpour. So I've sort of gone through, and this is actually the second time I've had to take this part because the rain was so loud, it was just overpowering my voice. Past videos, you would have seen me talk about having only one set of crossovers, and that's from the up line to the down line, and it's the same up that end up there. And then since doing and thinking about some operations, you know, prototypically they haven't gone both ways. So I've sort of got all that in. So I've done this end, I've got the points in. During this process, I actually did have to move my train station platform down. Probably, well, it was originally here, and it's probably about 18 centimeters there. I had to move it down just to give me enough room so this wasn't too sharp point to point, and also so I didn't have to put in a shorter set of points here, because I was a little bit worried with the train coming down and switching over, and then once it got to this, there's a bit of an S here, so I was a little bit worried of having that too tight. I mean, I know trains will be moving through there a lot slower as they cross over. I still wanted to make sure it wasn't going to give me any operational issues in the future. So that is completed down at this end. I gave the platform another undercoat, made it a bit darker. I need to come back and print some of my station walls and start putting that on and getting this platform prepared. So you can notice over here, I've actually taken out the crossover that I had here. I've now placed it over this side, and then I've also placed the secondary crossover. So that is now all in place. It's been wired up. Everything's ready to go, ready for control panels. Now, one thing I did have to do over here, I just had to be a little bit careful when I was putting in the crossovers over here. For those that have been watching previous videos, I got this speed 1, which basically gives me the train speed in 1:87 scale, and so I just had to make sure the sensors were not disturbed by any sleepers or anything like that. But I didn't have to move it. I left it there and I worked around it, so it all turned out really well. So the main focus of this particular video this month is this level 2 locomotive depot. As you can see there, I've got a lot of the track laid. There is, and I'll talk about this here. I'll come back to that, but basically besides that, all the other track has been laid. I've got my inspection pits in. I've still got to weather those. Now you can see here I've done a bit of work with the turntable. I've done a lot of installing it for one, but then coming back and doing a complete weathering job on it. So I'm very happy with that. And I've just used a lot of watering colors. I mean, I've sort of put a base paint onto it It then come back with lots of watercolours, whether it's black watered down, burnt umber, there's some rust, there's some red oxide, a whole range of paints that I use for my weathering. There you can see that's my milk facility, that'll be on that siding there. Here will be the main loading facility for different products loaded up in these box cars. I've made a few tweaks. I know I spoke about a siding here for having a 73 class, but I've sort of changed my mind and ended up putting a runaround track here. So once the locomotive comes in, it can detach from its load, run up here, and then do a run around and either take that off somewhere again, or basically it can come into the Loco Depot to be serviced. The bridge has gone in, it's in place there, same sort of thing, built it, weathered it. I've actually got the check rails installed. Those I used N scale code 55 track rail, and I'll probably do the same thing on the major viaduct that I've got at the other end of this layout. But again, everything's in place, wired up. I've got to come back to put this track in. Now this siding here will be servicing my one and only steam engine. It's more or less like a picnic train. Will be taken out for special occasions as tours. As you come in, you'll probably find here, I think I'm going to have a sanding tower in this area here. Now I may also, I don't know where I'm going to put the water column here or have that on the track that services the steam engine. Sort of still thinking about that, but the main reason that I haven't got this track in yet is I've got to design and 3D print my own custom ash pit. I've sort of been online and I just can't find anything that is simple other than American Walthers kits, and it's not something I want to put on my layout. So I'll come back and design an ash pit. It's actually going to be one that'll be fitted under the track, and that's why I haven't put in this track as yet. So I left myself enough room. I'll have to cut out a space, same sort of thing that I did with the inspection pits and the turntable up there. I had to come back and cut out the baseboard to fit those. I'll do the same here for the ash pit. This just a recent, actually came in today, actually a purchase I did off eBay, being able to bring the coal in, just have it sit there and then have the steam engine rock up beside it, and then obviously we'll load the coal into the bins of the steamer, or the tender I should say. It's just there loosely at the moment until I come back and figure it out. This thing in front of me, this will disappear. That's my programming track at the moment, but under this design from this point here, I've got the insulators from there back, that will be my programming track, and so I've still got to wire that up. But before I get to all that, I've got to get to my actual wireless command station. I've got to build something up here, so I've got it up there and put the power pack up there, and then obviously wire in the main track wiring and the programming track as it is here, and sort of set it up in a way too so I have my ESU programmer involved there without having to plug and play all the time. So I've got to have a bit of a think about that contraption and get that built and put it in place. But look, a big thank you. There was a lot of input with this over on my Facebook group, and a lot of people in the know a lot more than I do. It's really helped me out because I sort of went through a number of versions with this area here. I think I've got it to the point where I'm really happy with this configuration. It seems to fit in more with some of the Australian style. I mean, not totally prototypical, but where I'm really happy, and it gives me plenty of storage here. what you can't see here, once that disappears and the track goes in, there will be the steam loco shelter, or the shed, just basically where it's going to be stored. Obviously there'll be another maintenance shed down there which will service everything, including the steamer. Minor tweaks I made at the last moment was I did put this siding in here because I ended up buying myself a 1,000 litre water tank to put behind the steamer, so it could be a place where it could be stored, or I could put the water column there. I don't know. I mean, I'm still working out, but it's really just a bit of a siding, and maybe that's where I'll park, you know, the 73 class there. Who knows? The other tweak was I put this set of points in here so the steamer could run straight from its siding track straight onto the turntable to be turned. But I've also got the option as a arrival departure track. It can also come in straight to the turntable here, turn it, and then back itself in to its siding. The other thing I've done in this area is I've put in the control panel for the turntable. It's still got to be hooked up. I've just got some basic wiring there. You can see a hole, but actually I'm going to have, because it's an odd power requirement, it sort of requires between 16 or 24 volts DC. Well, I've sort of got myself an 18 volt power pack, so that's going to be under the layout to save me going in and turning it on all the time and crawling underneath and that type of stuff. I'm just going to have that in the wall to turn on all the time, but I'll have a switch here to turn it on and off. So that's sort of turned out quite well there. And if I sort of take that switch, I've got that ready to go. I've had it in there once, so it looks nice. So other than that, that's basically what we've accomplished in the month of February, basically. So we went from a design on Anyrail 6 to printing out that design and putting it on this layout, getting some of the track in place, making some tweaks. Last weekend was a big weekend. I didn't really enjoy it too much because I really had to get underneath and do all the wiring. See there, so there was a hell of a lot in around on that side, and needing to get down and twist and get under there, and yeah, there was a few excellent swear words. But at the end of the day, it's done, it's completed, other than wiring up the turntable and the programming track, but that's pretty straightforward. Anyway, with that said, we'll head back to the chair. So that was the update of February and what I've sort of been concentrating on. I hope you enjoyed that video. I must admit that was an area I really did enjoy putting together over the last month. And once again, a big thank you for those on my Facebook group that actually helped me put together the design, helped me tweak it in a way that it's sort of where it is and what it represents today. So moving forward, obviously I've still got a couple of little bits and pieces just to finish off on the Loco Depot area, basically the programming, track wiring, and then getting that turntable hooked up and programmed and in place. Now on top of that, I still need to go back and do some track tweaks on level 1. Obviously I've got some extra sidings to either put in or fix up or expand on. And then I've also got the south side down here to work out what I'm going to do in that area. On top of that, I am going to go back, and I know I've sort of spoken a little bit about the control panels and I've sort of gone back and forwards, but I think at this stage, what I've sort of got is I'm going to do an actual final version, because I think last video I spoke about doing some temp control panels just due to the fact because I was still tweaking the track. But I think I'm going to actually do a version 1 for the Locomotive Depot up here on level 2, because basically that's in place. I won't be changing anything further up there. And you can sort of see behind me, I've got some wiring ready to go to sort of get those areas in place and to be hooked up. So with that said, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I think that pretty much finishes this video up. So until next time, stay safe and bye for now. Cheers.